Hello to the next lesson about Wink and Weeks, and today I'm going to show you how to add custom fields in a project called project columns, and I'm also going to show you how to adjust the quick filter and how you can add these new fields into the quick filters. So first of all, I'm going to start up Wink and VX. And then I'm going to log on to my SQL, to my local SQL server. Of course, you can also just use your local SQL compact login, but in this example I'm going to use my local SQL server. Here you go. And the first thing that is very important, if you want to change or if you want to add a project column, is you need to add an existing project or you need to create a new one. Otherwise, if I do it like this, if I just go to Home, Template Editor without opening a new without opening an existing project, so let's just open the NASCO template. So I just select the section main form detail view. And as you can see now, I only have system columns now. So there should be another tab called project columns, which is not existing anymore. And this is because I did not open an existing project. So what I do now, I just close Wink and Weeks and start it up again. And then I log on to my local SQL server. And next what I'm going to do, I just open up a project that is using the template I want to change. So I just go to this test project. And now when I'm going back to the Home template editor, now first of all I need to select the template I want to change. So in this case it's the NASCO PACP6 template. I'm going to take the feed one. Here we go. So now I have the PACP6 template, and then I need to open the view where I want to do where I want to add the new field. So I just take the section main form. Here we go. And now you can see we have two tabs. One is called system columns and one is called project columns. And the system columns, so all fields that are in the system columns tab, they are coming from the WC-Sys database. So it can be a local file. So by default on a TV Chuck, this file is located under public documents, CDLab, common, resources, SQL compact, WC-Sys. That's the file where we are storing the template when you log on to this file, of course. So let's say if you are logging into a SQL server WC-Sys, that means that the template is going to be taken from there. So when I open up this file, so that's how it looks like. So you have the project list, and down there you have something, you have a couple of tables that starts with sys sys, so sys columns. So when I open it up, so these are now all the project columns that are appearing in the template. The thing is, next time when you install a new update of Wink and Weeks, they are going to be overwritten. So that means it doesn't make sense to change anything in these system columns, because next time when you do an update, they are going to disappear. But what you can do, you can specify, as already mentioned, these project columns. And what that basically means is, if I'm opening up an existing Wink and VX project, for example this one, so that's now a real Wink and VX project with the section table, for example, the section inspection, so, and the same for node and so on. And you can also see that we have a couple of additional tables that are starting with USR, that means user. For example, the user column, the user list. So these are the fields that you are specifying under this project column tab. So everything that you're going to add in this project columns tab will be added directly into the project itself. So that means next time when you open up the project, and even if you're going to update Wink and Wix, they are really part of the current project. So even when you take a copy of the project and distribute somewhere, they will stay in the project itself. So what Wink and Wix basically does when you open up an existing project, it takes the system columns from the currently logged on WCSys, and then it's looking in the current project if there are some additional project columns specified. So let's now just add a couple of project columns. So I just go to the project columns tab and then right click and just say add. So add just means it's now adding an empty field. So I just enter a caption, for example repair type, and I also need to specify the database field. So in this case, let's take one of the spare fields. So we have 10 spare fields available for every table. So I just scroll down. I start with the first one, the obj spare 1. I hit OK. And now, as you can see, if I want to change the data type, it's just I cannot do any selection, and it stays red. So this is a small bug which will be solved in the future version. So what you need to do, you just need to click the restore button of the window, maximize it again, and now it's properly refreshed. Here you go. So I just make some changes. I set it to visible, and I'm also going to set it to a combo list box, and I'm also going to attach a list. So I just click the data source button and I name this list repair type, and I specify that it is a translation list. So a translation list basically means it has a code and a caption part. So down here I can now specify my list entries. So let's say 1 means let's say point liner, and 2 for example means pipe replacement, and 3 for example means other. Here you go. So that's now the first field I've added, and now let's just add another one. So what I do now is I'm going to select spare field number 2, spare number 2, here you go. Then I hit OK, and then I set it to visible yes, and I'm also I just leave it to a simple text box, and I name this field let's say repair operator, for example. So let's say the operator who managed the repair. So now as you can see, we added 2 new columns, project columns. So they are also marked in a slight yellow color, so then I can clearly see that these are project columns. So next thing I need to do, I need to save my changes, and in order to get the new fields in this project where I've made the change, I just need to close it, and then I need to start it up again. So I just start up Wink and Wix, and then I of course need to log on again to my local SQL server WCSys. I'm opening up the project I previously updated with these 2 new fields. Here we go. So now you can see it's just a blank project, and when I'm going to add a new section, I should see now 2 additional fields. So now when I open up that section, I just enter a couple of information, so at least the required ones. Here we go. And now, as you can see, I have now 2 additional fields. So when I open them up, I can see my entries. So I just select pipe replacement and then repair operator, just write Stefan, and then I hit save. And the same when I now add another section. I'm just going to add some more information. And maybe for these 2 fields it would be the better approach if I would just add them into the inspection area. Now by mistake I just added them in the section area, but for this example it's no problem, because the way how to add a spare field in the inspection area is basically the same. So what I do now, repair type, in this time I say just other repair operator, I just add another name. Here we go, and then save. So now I've prepared 2 sections with a couple of entries, and now when I go to tools, quick filter, you can see that these fields that I added are not yet existing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add these 2 new fields into the quick filter of WinCanVX. So just close WinCanVX. And then this mapping file definition is also placed under public document cdlab common. No, it's under WinCanVX config. Let me just search for it. So it's placed, I think, common config. Here we go. There we have a file called filterconfig.conf. So as I already mentioned in previous sessions, I'm preferring the Notepad++. So when I'm opening it up, you can see now it just shows everything in black. So there's no syntax highlighting, but basically the conf file, it's also a XML file. So if I want to activate the highlighting for this file, I can just go to settings, style configurator, and then under XML I just add a user extension called conf. So when I now save and close it, next time, here we go, now it's treated as a real XML file. So the first thing I need to do is I need to go to the VX filter configuration area. So in here, VX filter tables. So when I go down there, relations, and then query definitions. So query definitions, that's where we want to add our spare fields. So down here we can now see a couple of fields. So these fields, these are the fields that are appearing in the quick filter. So with the street, with the date, material. So what I basically do now, just take a copy of the material one. So then I don't need to write all of these XML tags again. So I just copy it, paste, and then I name it spare one. This was the repair type. So this is just a caption that is appearing in the drop down list, and maybe I'll just add some special characters in order to recognize it that this is a spare field and not part of the main template. Then I say predefined yes, and the column behind it is the spare number 1. And operator, I could specify something like equal, like, bigger, smaller. So in this case I just take the equal because I want to search values that are equal to the criteria. So that's what I do. So that's the first step. Now we basically added a new entry in this quick filter drop down list, but next we also need to add the field into the tables. And what is very important with a section table and with a node table, and I need to do it on both, otherwise it will not work. So what I do next, I just search for an existing one, for example the obj material. Here we go, and then we have one area that is called filter table name section. So this is the section table, and now what I'm going to do, I'm just adding, these are the filterable columns in WinCanVX, so I can see key material. So I just take a copy of the material one, copy. Then we have shape, size 1, size 2. You can also see the data type. For example, for size it's a decimal, shape it's a text field, so it's string. So what I do now at the end, I just add a new entry, and it's not obj material, it's obj spare1. I want to filter for it, true, yes, and the data type is string. So if it would be an integer, you can just write int. For decimal it's dec. So that's the first thing I need to do, and don't forget to do exactly the same for the node table. So this is now the section, and now we need to do exactly the same on the node table. So just search for the node table. Well, maybe let's just take a copy of this one, then I don't need to edit. Again, copy, here we go, and now I search for this, the same, no, I'm now searching for the node table. Here we go, now we have exactly the same material, shape, size 1, size 2, offset number, and now at the end I'm adding the spare1, which is a string field. Here we go. So that's very important. If you're not going to add the same entry for node and section, it will not work. If you have a section inspection field, then there should be a table called sequinsp. So then you also need to do it for sequinsp and of course for nodeinsp if you would have an inspection spare field. That's how it works. So now what I do, I just save it, close Notepad++, and now when I start up WinCanVX, I now log on to my local SQL Server database. Here you go. And now when I'm going to the Tools menu, Quick Filter, I should see now a new option that is called Repair Type. So when I select it, I should see now, here we go, it shows me all available values. So at section 1 I have pipe replacement, section 2 I have other, so I just filter for pipe replacement, apply filter, and now as you can see it filters out what I filtered for based on this criteria. So I can now also filter for other, and then it shows me section number 1. That's basically how it works. Maybe we can also add the spare number 2 field. So I just edit this config file again, and I'm going to search for this spare1, because then I just need to take a copy of this and rename it to spare2. Here we go. So this is the filter column, so just copy it. So I just edit save it as spare2. So now we are in the section area. Now let's continue searching. Here we go. Of course, here in the node table I need to add spare2 as well. So I assume this is the node table. Yeah, that's it. And now on the filter itself, here we go, I need to specify new filter query definition. So in order that it appears in the quick filter drop down, so I just take a copy, and then of course it's not repair type, I think I named it repair operator. It's a text field and it is obj spare number 2. So I just save it. Now log on to my local SQL server WCSys. And now when I'm opening up the previously created test project, I should see now a second entry called repair operator. So when I go to the tools menu, quick filter, repair operator, and then when I open it I just search for Stefan, apply filter, here you go. So as you can see now, we've now two new items appearing in here. So that's basically how it works like. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much.